What's going on there, watch fans? It's amitdevhanda and welcome to my watch video. So today I want to talk about why the Audemars Piguet 15500 self-winding Royal Oak with blue dial is an amazing investment. Now, this watch came out in 2019. It replaced the 15400. The case diameter is 41 millimeter. It's the same size as the previous generation. The thickness went up a little bit, but on the wrist, it more or less looks the same. 41 millimeters is a good size. It fits under a shirt cuff. Now, to me, this is the Rolex of the high end, meaning that it's a great investment. It has the trapeze dial. It's on the Royal Oak bracelet. It's got a lot of brushed surfaces. It's got some nice polished edges on the bezel. It's an octagonal bezel. It's got a screw down crown. It's water resistant to 50 meters. Personally, I don't think this is enough of a water resistance. I think that's a little bit, that's really half of what it should be. But I understand to get the profile to be less thick, you have to have a less of a water resistance. But I feel like they could have accomplished that still if they had gone maybe a couple of millimeters bigger. But this watch is very substantial. It's, for those people who don't want a Rolex, and they definitely don't want the average person to know what they're wearing, because the average person has no idea what an Audemars Piguet looks like. They may think it's a nice watch, they may not. But, an Audemars Piguet to me is a very iconic watch. It's especially the Royal Oak. It's been around since the 70s. I really dig this piece. I was never really a fan of Audemars Piguet before. This is a watch I would absolutely buy for myself. I've sold this watch a couple of times. Just to give you an idea, this is not something you can just walk into a boutique or an Audemars Piguet authorized dealer and just expect to find sitting in the showcase. This is a boutique edition only, which means that it's only available at Audemars Piguet boutiques. There really aren't any authorized Audemars Piguet dealers, even though there are some listed. And there are some that still have the brand, but Audemars Piguet, like Rolex, are playing the supply and demand game like a boss. They're not really shipping any product to their authorized dealers. I think they're pretty much reserving most of their pieces for their boutique. But even if you go to an Audemars Piguet boutique, don't expect to find it sitting in the showcase. This is a piece where you can only buy it really if you have a spend history, and even then, there's no guarantee you'll be able to buy one. This is a watch that's very scarce. It's not numbered, but it's definitely limited. I don't have any official numbers, but if I was to guess, an average Audemars Piguet boutique probably gets 2 to 3 of these a year. And so, the demand is way more than that. The retail is $22,900. Those who bought this watch at retail have done extremely well because it's going for about 50+ thousand in the secondary market. So even though it is going for more than double, in the grand scheme of high-end watches that are going for premiums, this is still not as bad as some Pateks and some other watches that you see out there that are commanding 4, 5, 6 times their retail value. It's still expensive, don't get me wrong. Even at $22,900, it's very expensive. Now, the only thing that, is a tough pill to swallow because of the brush bracelet and the finishing of the bracelet, the satinized finish of the brush bracelet, and the way the brush strokes are, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's a work of art through and through, from the bezel to the case to the bracelet to the clasp. Everything is extremely... I like this bracelet way more than the Patek Nautilus bracelet. It's very substantial. It's got a good weight to it. But because of the finishing, it definitely will reflect scratches much easier than, let's say, a Rolex would, or I think even a Patek Nautilus bracelet, just because of the finishing. But you know what? You can absolutely send it back to AP. I believe they can absolutely refinish the bracelet for somewhere like $300 to $600. It's not the end of the world. If you can afford to buy this watch at retail, you can definitely afford to have it polished whenever you want to get it polished. So do keep in mind, every time you polish it, you are taking a layer off, and so you don't want to over polish it. I can definitely help you find this watch. No problem. I can definitely help you find it. It's not going to be at retail. It's going to be at whatever the premium prices are, which are $50K and above. It's very hard to find this watch, like I said, because of the scarce supply. Like Rolex and like Patek Philippe, the pandemic has helped Audemars Piguet stay more relevant, stay more in demand, and become more collectible in the process, because they were out of production last year for a couple of months while the factories were closed, and the demand was already out of control. So this just forced the demand to go even further. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at amitdevhanda@gmail.com. I do charge a $150 consultation fee to get started. If you choose to buy a watch from me thereafter, I deduct the $150 from the final purchase price of the watch. You can also check out my website at www.amitdevhanda.com. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to rock on, fly back, and stay healthy.